Thank you so much and welcome back. Of course, we continue with our discussion here on the ongoing water crisis in Hammanskraal. Standing by on the other side is my colleague Sipho Steerman. He's in conversation there with some of the residents here, of course, as they continue to raise their frustrations about the water crisis in the area. Let's listen to that.
Well, a very good morning once more, and thank you, Patricia. You're right, I am down here with the people on the ground. We are here in Hammanskraal, of course, speaking with the residents, and just so that we can get their take on the events that have happened here a couple of weeks without water, that is running tap water, and we understand the water has been restored in terms of tap water, but they are still unhappy because the water, even as the MMC that is sitting there, that is MMC Abeltower, did say that the water is not of drinkable quality. So this is not a long-term solution. So let's speak to the people and just find out how they're feeling. Thank you very much, ma'am, for making time for us. The water has been restored in the taps, but it's not of drinkable quality. How do you feel about the situation?
Hey, the situation is not good at all because we are having kids already. Then at school, we have to give our kids water to bring them to school. The water still fail. Even ourselves can't cook with it. So if we wash with it, we are getting allergy of that. So at least can make something better. This tap we on it now is helping our life.
All right, so maybe Wayne can pen into this. This is a well where the residents come to collect drinkable water. They say they'd rather drink this water than the water that's being provided by the city. But we understand that the city is also providing that is water from the tankers. Are the tankers reaching you here?
Not yet. Sometimes we are not at home, and then it passed, so we don't get water because of that. It comes once in a week, and it's not enough for us.
All right, okay. Maybe let's just get in one more voice. So now you're also here, you're a community resident here. Just how do you feel about the water situation? If you can just look at this direction towards the camera, how do you feel about the water situation?
Metsi ha sa so mo dipompong ke matsapa because of re tla mo pitsing re tla gella, and then a mo dipompong still a di chila, and then mo re tla gella mo teng. So re na le problem ya metsi a go tlhokega, and then dilori tse di feta mo metsing mo di re fa metsi. Sometimes ha o steng o ile mmerekong ha o kreye metsi, and then re tla.
All right, and then let's also bring in you here as well. You're a mother, you've got children. How does this all affect your kids? They're writing exams right now. This water issue, how bad is it?
I'm not happy at all with this situation ya metsi, because right now re tla mo re tlohella metsi. The next thing mo o kra ho tletse bana rumile bana o kra ho tletse mo re sa khono hella metsi na go ngoro wala re sna metsi o kra re pala le go tlhapa, and then a go dipompong obviously ha no re ka ano ha no re ka ja re ka pya ka ona ke gore no like re nosetsa ka ona, like, and le di lori le tsona sometimes re na le mabaka ra tswa re ya di kae he re boa o tla ba lori e fitile ha ona metsi o khona na bo 2 days 3 days metsi a stay.
Okay, so a lot of unhappiness with the water situation, especially the water tankers that are supposed to be on the ground distributing water to the people. So what we do have right now in the panel with my colleague Patricia is the MMC for Utility Services. And what is your message? What is your request? He is the appointed body here to deal with these water issues. What is your request to him right now?
Okay, my request right now, can you please do something that, I don't know how, but try. As Hammanskraal is a part of city of Tshwane, I think you have solutions. Because some at sorry to say, at Churchville, Mamelodi, still city of Tshwane. How they don't have a problem for water. Yeah. So we are having that. Why? Because we don't pay the services. Right. It's why we're struggling for that. All right. So please make something different, then can cooperate to each other and our kids also.
All right. Well, that is the message to the MMC of Utility Services in Tshwane, that make something, provide people with the water. That's what the residents are saying here. And with that, Patricia, it's back to you. Maybe you can take that message to the MMC there in the panel with you there.
Well, thank you so much, Sipho Steerman. MMC, you heard the people on the ground. They have too much you. How do you respond?
Look, the message is loud and clear, Patricia. I want to be too mad. I think that's the only reason we took up the responsibility to lead in the manner that we are, and we are honored to be able to find solution for the residents. I will talk to you about all the solutions that we have ensured, including ensuring that people have water even in times when they could, because it's disrupting people's lives, that they have to sit at home and wait for water, otherwise they wouldn't have water. So we will unpack the program that is there, that is quantifiable, that is measurable. But I wanted to come back to the issue of denials, because I think before we went to break, we wanted to deal with the issue of denial. Now in March, Tumelo is sitting here next to me. We did a joint sampling together with them and the Department of Water and Sanitation, as well as the Human Rights Commission. The results that came back met all parameters and the water was fit for human consumption. That he knows, that's a fact. Now subsequent to that, on the 18th of July, we did a second round. We also called a meeting where we're supposed to give the news to the residents of Hammanskraal that the water is fine. We made a joint agreement between us, the Department of Water and Sanitation, Hammanskraal Residents Forum, as well as everyone who was involved, to say, no, let us not announce yet. Let's do another round of testing. And we went to a round of testing on the 18th of July. Those results came back and said there is a high concentration of nitrates and nitrites, not E. coli like that. Only the groundwater, later CSIR, pronounced on the E. coli. But what then since happened then, when those results came, I always told them the methodology in testing is always that even when they test you and they stop you on the side of the road, they will test you first, and then if that blows red that you are intoxicated, then they make you wait for 15 minutes and blow you again. Take you to hospital and take a blood sample. And another one. In testing, you always test and then you do your control sample that you retest. On the basis of the one results that we got from the CSIR, then everyone concluded that the water is not fine. So as a responsible city, we said we are not going to go to and fro in this tit-for-tat type response of saying the water is fine, the water is not fine. And lo and behold, let me tell you something that happened. In June, end of June, before the sampling on the 18th, then it is found out that the Royal wastewater treatment ran out of chlorine to disinfect at the final stage what the affluent that is discharged to the Apis River. And when we later realized that be the case, then we were not informed as the administration of that. It then made sense why the samples on the 18th would be found wanting. But we don't want to make excuses. We said then let us make sure that we get down to the work that needs to be done, so that everyone can be able to say we are convinced that the water is fit for human consumption, and that's a responsible thing to do.
But Mr. Dow, maybe at the time when they brought those first samples and actually positively proved that the water was not fit, the city should have acted instead of delaying the situation further, waiting for tests while people didn't have clean drinking water, and there were tests to prove that. But you were more interested in actually running your own private tests instead of actually listening to the Human Rights Commission and the other groups. And before you answer, I just want to bring in Mr. Okwiteng. How do you respond to what Mr. Dow just said now?
Look, the first test, the city was playing the referee and the player, because the first test before the joint sampling was done by the city. That's why always the city was in denial, saying that the water is fit. It was then at the time of the former MMC Darrell Moss and the former mayor Solim Sima, whereby that's when we said as a community representative to say you cannot be a player and a referee at the same time, because you are taking the test, you are testing them themselves, and you come and tell us that the result says the water is fine. And we had not results by then, but we could tell. You could tell by the smell, you could tell by the taste, you could tell by the color of the water. And that's why we started to complain to the Human Rights Commission. That's why there was this process of a joint sampling, because the city was in denial and the community said the water is not fine. But then we did not have the backing of the results. Then thereafter, the first results, there were two results. The first result had said there was also E. coli. And the second, it had only nitrate and nitrite, because there was this process. We came here, they said there's dosing. They put in some chemicals whereby the color of the water changed, the smell, but it was still not consistent. But we said to them, that is only cosmetic, because until you deal about the source, any other thing that you do would not, would not change anything. They change only the color and the taste. And that's when we went on a joint sampling. So,
all right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. We just have to go on a short break. We'll be continuing with the discussion when we come back. Let's give it back to studio.
Very important conversation there with Patricia Visagie.